Hello lovely yogi, welcome to Flow with Shreya. I'm Shreya and today I'm bringing you another pose breakdown. Today we'll be going over goddess pose. So if you want to learn more about this posture, how to get in and out of it, and some variations and modifications, come flow with me. Before we actually practice goddess pose, let's talk a little bit about it. Goddess pose is essentially a wide leg squat. It helps to strengthen the lower body, the legs, using all of those muscles, and it also opens up and stretches the hips and the groin. It can also be a very grounding and centering posture. So if you're ever feeling anxious, try out this posture to ground and center you. It can also help by lengthening and strengthening the back and spine so you can improve your posture. This pose is contraindicated for anybody who has injuries in their lower body. As always, listen to your own body and consult any professionals you need to if you have any concerns. So let's get right into it. There are a few different ways to get into this posture. You can just start by standing in the middle of your mat, facing the long edge of your mat. Then begin to take your legs out wide. Take them as wide as feels comfortable in your body. Then point your toes about 45 degrees out or towards the corners of your mat. You want your toes out and heels in so that when you bend your knees, your hips can be open in this space. So now begin to bend your knees and sink your hips low. Again, you can adjust and shift your feet in any way you need to. Take a wider stance, take a shorter stance. Listen to your body, notice what you feel in your body. You can even take your toes out wider if that feels good in your body. As you sink your hips low, notice where your thighs land. The goal is to send your body as low as possible so that your thighs can be as close to parallel to the ground as possible. Again, anatomy, strength, flexibility, all of those play a role in this. So if you're not completely parallel, that's totally fine. Bring your palms to heart center to begin. You can continue to shift your hips as you adjust. And when you've found a space that works for you, you can begin to find a little bit of stillness. Tuck your tailbone under, hug your belly button up and in. Keep your shoulders nice and back. Breathe here. You might notice the sensations in your thighs here as you strengthen them. Notice if your knees want to cave in. Encourage them to point out, maybe even towards your middle toes, so that you can keep your hips open. As you exhale, straighten out the legs. Begin to walk your feet in towards each other and shake them out. That's essentially it. That is your goddess pose. That is the foundation of goddess pose. Now there are a couple of different variations you can take while you're in that posture. So I'll go over those now. Let's find a different way to get into goddess pose. This is how you might get into it during the flow. Begin by standing at the top of your mat. As you exhale, lunge the left leg back. And then go ahead and turn those toes out just like we did before. Bend your knees and sink your hips as low as you can. Palms can come to heart center, or palms can even come to thighs. You can even take your arms up and bend your elbows for full goddess pose. Remember to keep that core engaged. Squeeze your pelvic floor, tuck your tailbone under, and sink as low as you can. Deep breath in and out. You can bring your palms to your thighs and even dip one shoulder low and then the other to find a little bit of movement here in your upper body as you stretch out your lower body. Inhale, come back to center, bring your feet back together, shake your legs out. You can see why this posture can warm you up as you're using the largest muscles in your body, which are in your legs. Now, while you can take multiple variations with your arms, you can also take a couple of variations with your legs here. So let's widen our legs, find our stance, and find our goddess pose once more. Again, palms can be at heart center or on your thighs, wherever feels good. If you are putting your palms on your thighs, make sure you're not dumping your shoulders down. Keep your spine nice and long, roll the shoulders back. Keep your heart open and your hips open. One way to strengthen your calves more in this space is to lift your heels off the ground. You can do one at a time, or you can even attempt to do both. This takes balance as well as strength, so if you're not quite there, that's okay. Keep practicing. Exhale, lower the heels, straighten out the legs, and then walk your feet back to center. Again, shake those legs out because you don't want that lactic acid building up in your thighs. Another way to find a little bit more strength in your legs as you practice goddess pose is to find some pulses. So let's take goddess pose one more time. Again, toes out maybe 45 degrees or a little bit more. Heels and feet firmly planted into your mat. Belly button hugged up and in, tailbone tucked under. Pelvic floor is engaged, and then begin to lower and lift, lower and lift, lower, exhale, lift, inhale, lower, exhale, lift, inhale, lower, exhale, lift, all the way up. Bring your feet together, and you can notice that sensation in your legs, especially your quads, as you lower and lift. Building the strength in your legs in this way can also help other postures that require a lot of balance and strength in your legs. If you find difficulty in balance when you are practicing goddess pose, you can always use a chair or even a wall or a table next to you to find that balance. So that might look like this. Take your feet out wide, point your toes out, bend the knees, drop the hips as low as you can, and then just touch the wall next to you. You can even have a chair on the other side if you need. Again, placing your palms at your hips or on your thighs might also help with that balance. Engaging the core also helps with the balance. Exhale, straighten out the legs, and come back to center. Another way you can use the wall in goddess pose is to keep your spine nice and long. So take your back up against the wall, take your feet wide here, and then begin to lower into your goddess pose. And use the wall as a guide to keep your upper body nice and long and strong. And continue to keep opening up your hips here. Now, where your legs are in relation to the wall will really depend on your strength, flexibility, and anatomy. Exhale, straighten out the legs as you come back to center. So there you have it, some tips and tricks and variations and modifications for goddess pose. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also be sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos every single week. Let me know in the comments below which pose you'd like me to break down next. It always helps my channel grow and it helps others learn more about these postures if you share this video. If you share it on social media, please be sure to tag me at Flow with Shreya. If you want to practice goddess pose in a flow, check out this video down here. And for more pose breakdowns, check out this playlist right here. You'll also find Yin Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.